Leaders in Latin America mark the 5th anniversary of the death of former Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez. The country faces a deepening economic crisis and widespread food shortages. Current President Nicolas Maduro calls Chavez his political father, and he says he's carrying on the socialist revolution begun by his mentor. Maduro faces an election in May. Joining me now is Moises Rendon, a Latin American policy expert at the Center for Strategic and International Studies right here in Washington and a native of Venezuela. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for the invitation, Lauren.
Thousands, hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans are pouring out of the country into Colombia. There's no food, there's no medicine. People are losing enormous amounts of weight. They can't feed their children. Isn't this enough for the worldwide community to do something? UN Ambassador Nikki Haley says we've seen Venezuela go from what was a successful democratic country to being ruled by an abusive dictator. Tell us what's happening. Describe their pain.
Yeah, no, thank you. In fact, Venezuela was a sophisticated country back in the 20th century. But since Hugo Chavez took over in 2000, we've seen the country really going into a total collapse from economic, social, politically point of view. Institutions do not exist in Venezuela. The current president, Nicolas Maduro, controls all the institutions. And that's really the root cause of the humanitarian crisis that we've seen, is Maduro's policies.
Last month, you were in Colombia to see the refugees coming out and to find out what is happening. Let's take a look at the video that you took here. Describe to us what you saw.
It was really a calamity. And as you can see, there's people crossing to Venezuela back and forth. 2 days before we arrived, the number hit a high of 91,000 people crossing.
For the day?
For 1 day, only one day.
1 day?
Yes.
What's the average?
The average is about 50,000. And these are numbers coming from Migración Colombia, the authority.
So you talked to Catholic bishops. The country is 70% Catholic, according to the State Department. How are Catholic bishops in this area trying to help all of these refugees?
Yeah, out of all the meetings that I have in Colombia, the most impressive was the Bishop Victor Ochoa. He really is doing an impressive job on trying to just provide meals to poor Venezuelans who are crossing to the country. They're desperate, thin Venezuelans who haven't eaten for days. So when they see the bishop and the center, the distribution meal center that they have had on the border, is really a big relief for many mothers, for many children, and for many people.
Pope Francis met with Maduro in October of last year and called for an end to this crisis. We're still seeing this. As a policy expert, what can be done?
The pressure needs to increase significantly on Maduro, on the Maduro regime. And I think the OEAS, which is a regional organization, is doing a good job, but it needs to be accompanied by other countries too. Colombia needs to play a stronger role on increasing that pressure. The US also, the UN. We really, when you come to Venezuelan crisis, there is not a silver bullet. You need all the elements that can increase pressure on Venezuela. And as you mentioned, that we have upcoming presidential elections, and this is a time to do it as the humanitarian crisis deepens and deepens by the day.
I had read that it was in April and had been moved up. Is that correct?
Correct.
Right, okay.
Now it's in May.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for the invitation.
You are so welcome. Moises Rendon for the Center for Strategic and International Studies.